Oh, what is going on, Sam Pam? Oh, turns out I have a jaw, guys. Look at that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. We got a special show for you once again today as we continue to celebrate that pre-alpha. That's what's up as we celebrate you in the chat right now, because today we have Maddox Euphoria and OG Shakespeare. It'll be a good time. Joseph is happy getting his house put together, and once we have all that, next week we should be back on schedule, but with a new schedule as the alpha is coming right around the corner. So I'm going to count in our guests as we get down into this interview. Hold on. Oh, the music. It's too good. It's preventing me from getting our guests here. All right, we can turn that down. Okay, let me snap on over here with Shakespeare. How's it going? Maddox Euphoria and OG Shakespeare. It's wonderful to have you guys here.
Yeah, definitely an honor. Thank you for having us on.
Thanks for having us on, Conrad. Absolutely.
For sure. Sorry we're running a little bit late today, everybody. My troubleshooting, of course, ends up going into all sorts of wonderful issues running from one laptop. As check it out, we're live edit right here. I'm gonna snip that out. Don't even worry about that. You couldn't even see it, chat. But regardless, as we're getting down into the nitty-gritty of season 3, oh my goodness gracious, we've been trying to set up this interview with you two since we got the announcement that Joe was gone, right?
Yeah.
And with that, we ended up having this huge gap in time where we're like, okay, so we have so much content to fill. We have Joseph missing, so let's go ahead and let's try and get an hour and a half from various creators. Maybe we have multiple on at a time, and then they're just like, then I have Half Dork on, that goes fine. We have AU24K, shout out to Golden Boy out there, and we're out there, we're doing it live, we're making it work, and then all of a sudden, season 3 announcement, and it's like, whoa. And Joseph not having internet is what I mean by gone, Pele. I appreciate you with your concern. He's safe, alive, and well, just unable to work with us, as he would be chiming in on his cell phone, and he doesn't exactly want to do that. I'm not sure how well that would work out, but as we're looking forward, today is all about the two of you, Alpha Season 3, and any questions that you, the chat, have. And most importantly, we're going to have a little bit of an inside scoop here from a Creator Fund member. I do believe it was Team Fox and now Team Supreme is where we're at now, OG Shakespeare?
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Yeah, it should be fun. And
turned you guys
Team
up
Fox
here.
is I found out later there's been a lot of other friends have been in that same team, like Alex started there, and Voxel Blaze was the lead for Team 2, so it's kind of cool.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. They want marbles in the stream already.
Marbles on stream? Is it a full takeover? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, no worries. Yeah, then recently I've been moved over to Team 16, which is actually with Wayward and other very skilled artists too.
Okay. So that is definitely some insider scoop. But as we continue forward today and we get onto that topic a little bit later, some of the Creator Fund discussion and where Season 3 will take some of that. And then, of course, where you guys were at when, all of this started, where you guys ended up meeting each other, and what is going on in your play space right now. But before we do that, I want to apologize to chat for being so late. Once again, we'll run it a little late tonight. Just a a little bit later if these guys are up for it. If not, then you'll still have me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see here, chat. But Maddox and Furia, if you could have yourself turned up just a little bit, it is a little bit hard to hear you. Chat is struggling, and I've got you at 200.
Uh-oh. Hang on. Is that any better if I actually just talk out loud?
That might help a little bit. Yeah, would help for sure.
Testing.
So as you can see behind us here, that splash art for season 3, there's a lot going on, like 100%. But as we see all of these wonderful assets, these NFTs, there's like 100 of them in this picture that is just ready and waiting for us to, be in this metaverse with. What have you guys as creators, what's the latest thing you've been working on?
Well, there's been a bunch of things. Kind of took a break on contests and game jams for a bit. We've got a bunch of, there's a bunch of different projects we're working on for right now. Right now, for me, it's the squeakers has been my what I've been up to. It's certainly not my most challenging of projects, but it's certainly time consuming. Just making sure that everything is equipable, and there's so many colors. So
okay,
that's what I do most recently. We also are working with a client putting together some metaverse furniture. So that's been another project we've been working on as well.
Metaverse furniture, okay. So just everyday use kind of furniture, or are we talking like gamer chairs that have been showing up?
Luxury items.
Yeah, high-end real estate, high-end interior design kind of thing. Usually stuff that only people with mega mansions get a chance to own.
That premium,
yeah.
if you will. As we have some of the premium lands out there. But regardless, chat wants to know, have you guys won any of these contests that you guys have been entering, or do we have any victories under the belt yet? If not, what have you guys really gotten to showcase for the community as you've been trying to make a name for yourselves? And that kind of does go into another question I have right afterwards.
Big Spear's won a number of VoxEdit contests.
Well, and then you had the most recent win though with the VoxEdit though. So
I did.
Don't forget about that.
Oh yes.
Me and Karatros teamed up, and we did score 5th place on the VoxEdit game jam. Very proud of that. It was a good one.
Now, what was the name of that game that you had ended up submitting there?
Imperium Rock.
Imperium Rock. Make sure to go check that one out, guys. I remember playing through that, and it was quite a lot of fun. We had some good narrative beats, and that's something that is getting lost on a lot of experiences in the sandbox, is solid narrative that makes you want to invest into the land. So what do you have to showcase for us today, guys? I've got both your screens ready and available for this chat, as they have lots of questions. I imagine for season 3, for you, both of you, and maybe even myself. I have no idea. I'm about 16 pounds lighter today, so.
Yeah, you've got 1/8 your beard.
I can see that. Yeah. No, it does. Good change.
It is definitely a solid difference, I should say. But with season 3 right here, we gotta have some changes, right?
Yeah.
You gotta streamline a little bit. Yeah. Gotcha. And I have up on the screen right now the monochrome contest winning entry that I did. I believe it got 8th place or something like that.
Okay, let's pop on over there. What is that looking like?
Which I
Oh,
was
check that
satisfied
out.
with, because there's a lot of people who put a tremendous effort into that contest, like all of them, and some of the winning entries, they did like the full gear sets and everything, which were very elaborate. So it was pretty cool. I was happy to be able to get placed in the top 10 with just like a item. So that was fun.
Right.
And then the lightning, I have to admit, was inspired by Blaze Games, and then since I have it up here, this is one that I've submitted. Hopefully, will be available in the market pretty soon. This is the Zayden Alien Probe Staff.
Oh man, can we get
This is for,
can we get a zoom in on that? Why are we probing people? Oh no. This has
Yeah, this
got
is
You know,
some horrifying connotations to it.
doesn't it though? Yeah, this is for the alien invasion theme, and dystopian theme that's going on, and some of you may have caught that in the marketplace in some of the recent creator fund drops. They do select a handful of creations at a time, and then those are part of those creator fund monthly showcases that we've seen. And this one was in one of those showcases. It hasn't been minted yet, but like I said, hopefully very soon with some impending drops that are going to be coming. So we'll see how that goes. Um, and then we can get into it too, because I do have my one item that is for sale right now, which is the classic arcade cabinet, which was part of the Pimp Your Home theme. And this was part of that drop on that one. And this actually has quite a few different animations. Like we have just the off one, we have a blank screen that's on, and then we have playing, where you actually have the buttons and the stick moving, and you can see how there's a
Okay.
little animation going on there. And
Can
then
we
we
get
also
can
just
you
have
zoom
like
in on this for us so we can get some of the extra
yeah, sure.
animations? So we got some Space Invader, or sorry, hashtag not sponsored Space Invader, not Space Invader here. Yeah.
Space. Yeah, it's
Space.
spaced.
Alien home invasion on the screen here.
Exactly.
How long did it take you to get down this animation style and like really learn the VoxEdit program?
It took a little bit of time to really kind of feel confident. I mean, I have been working in graphic design and arts for a while, but like how the software obviously is new. So like no one could have been in VoxEdit for 10 years because it didn't exist 10 years ago, right? And so there was definitely a learning curve in some of the areas. And then the nuance came from really working in the creator fund. I mean, because there's a huge difference from working for yourself in terms of like your own creations for your own draft gallery things or for your land in the future versus like this is what the sandbox is looking for specifically.
Right.
And so just having that background working with different companies over the years and kind of knowing that you have to adapt your graphic style to the client's needs really came in handy because Sandbox definitely is very specific about certain things that they want. And I know some people they say, "Oh, that's kind of constricting," but to me, that means it's easy because they're kind of telling you what to do. And so all you gotta do is kind of draw between the lines there, and but at the same time with the sandbox because it is very efficient in the sense of what they're looking for and very specific in style, like being able to kind of work with that refine that allowed me to now kind of move out of that style like a lot more free because we can define this is the sandbox style, this is more sort of like representational because the client wanted it that way. And that's kind of a lot of things I get into on my stream in terms of the specifics, like how I say if you want to do sandbox texturing, let's get into sandbox texturing right here versus let's try to recreate something that has a metallic sheen like the multiple gradient colors and things like that.
Right. Put some own spin on it, right?
And so it really does come down to really working with the sandbox for almost 2 years now, or I mean it's getting there. I think in another month, I think is 2 years. I think it's been with the Creator Fund now.
Oh wow, okay.
And then obviously I had known about the sandbox before jumping into the Creator Fund, and so it has been amazing seeing like the first streams. You know what I mean, with Alex and Joseph. First Alex and then Joseph, and seeing how like there would be like 25 people in there. You know what I mean? And now it's like poof.
Things
so
are
it's really
exploding,
cool.
like that's for sure. As we're getting a lot of new faces. I mean, we got Maddox here, of course, and you've from what I've noticed. Forgive me if I speak out of turn here, Shakespeare. You've kind of taken this little fury underneath your wing and kind of tried to help out the best you can. So
yeah, and I'll let Max get into the specifics of his story, but like in terms of what I saw, because I mean most of the time I'm at my station and I'm building. Like that's pretty much what I do now. I mean I think a lot of us obviously who are doing this have transitioned from some other kind of job of some kind. And so that's at this point, that's pretty much all I'm doing is building. And so while I'm sitting here building, I'm checking out the streams because it's like I'm not going to watch regular TV. You can only watch the same movie so many times, and so Twitch is a great, and these other stream platforms are great for this. And so just watching other makers, and I did catch Maddox because he started streaming quite a bit, and he'd be there, and he'd be like, "Hey, does anyone know where this is?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's right there." You know what I mean? I just kept answering in the chat. And then eventually he's like, "Hey, do you want to just like come on Discord so you have to type this?"
You just want to join the call, like make this easier here.
Yeah, because and it was definitely a fun ride. So I mean, I think those VODs still exist, and you can kind of see the progression from someone who like has no idea what they're doing in the sandbox and VoxEdit to now kind of working in professional projects, and that drive, I think that that was there was apparent to me. And I think like how we like to mention with the sandbox software in particular, because it's so new, it's an equalizer. So like here I am, a person who's worked with say like Photoshop for like over 20 years. You know what I mean? And then it doesn't matter though versus someone who hasn't even touched Photoshop but goes into VoxEdit and is able to create. And so I think that's one of the things that's really cool about the sandbox software in general, be it VoxEdit or Game Maker. It's like it equalizes some of the experience and it allows for talent to shine through. And so I think that's one of the things that with Maddox being so tenacious, and jumping right in even to one of the contests and getting a good mention, that's one of those instances of where talent shines through. And the sincerity behind the professional effort is another reason why I wanted to help Maddox in his quest as well. And so it's been a very tightly packed handful of months here for Max, shall we say, in terms of experience.
Right. Because as you were saying, you're 2 years in as an OG Shakespeare, right? So we have Maddox on the flip side of that, where you're what, 3-4 months with us?
So yeah,
I'm gonna share your screen here as you're showing off your Cthulhu.
Absolutely.
But go on with what do you got for us?
Well, so yeah, thanks Conrad, thank you Shakespeare. Yeah, that's exactly the case. I had no idea what the sandbox was. I was getting back into crypto after a bit of a drop off for a couple of years, and then I got that wonderful email in my email that Alpha 2 is coming down, and it was going to be here in a couple of days, and I jumped right in. I started watching.
You hear that, Seb? You hear that, Seb? Those emails, they work.
I'm not kidding. I saw that Alpha 2 was dropping, and be here or don't, you're gonna want to be here, and I jumped right in. I remember signing in, creating a little avatar, and then I met Candidly Kristen in the Alpha Hub, and we danced on a squeaker for 12 hours because I think I was still working, and she was just explaining what the game was and what it was all about and what we were working towards and alpha passes. And either way, I was already trying to stream again. I just didn't know what I was going to stream, and so I saw all this potential for, hey, I want to learn what this is all about, and I guess while I'm on it, I might as well share the ride. And so I remember Sandstorm being prevalent for open contests for new builders and just trying to get people involved. So I brought him up on screen, but this was my first sink or swim kind of contest. It was build a sea monster, something with 8 legs and could possibly be something in the sea, and he's the OG. He's got squeakers. But yeah, I mean, this was I picked something that was public domain. Cthulhu. It's old enough, and it's totally public domain and available for anybody to take hold of, because
right.
nobody can own him.
So with this question here, so this was your very first asset that you ended up working on. How long did it really take you to conceptualize this, as it instantly says over on Twitch, it could also be just an alien instead of, you know, just purely Cthulhu. What made
Yeah.
you, like, how long did it take you to go from that concept that you were doing a giant Cthulhu alien with squeakers to a finished product, would
I
you
had
say?
never. Yeah, it was roughly 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, because I gave you a little more time then. I think I can go back and even show that. Like I had built this like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times, and I remember it started out like on paper. I learned some basics in VoxEdit weeks before that, just like how to move around and drive camera. And
Okay, okay.
I
And the camera is the
remember,
trickiest part.
yeah, like just being able to drive is actually, like getting a mouse that has a scroll wheel and knowing where you're clicking around and what to press, right click, left click. It's super important because if you can't see what you're building, then you're not going to be able to build it.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find like the original, but I mean, I just started taking blocks, and yeah, here we go. Here's one of the more closer to the original. Um, but I just started taking blocks and kind of like shaping them out, and kind of figuring out what would go where. Like this is a completely custom skeleton. Like I had to rig him myself and everything, because they'd given me such a big size to work in. This is 5. Oh geez, it's 512
It's
by
really
512.
big.
It's huge. It's
Really,
enormous.
really big.
Yeah. So like so this is just the base model that I started with, and if I drop in, which I can now know how to do, that's fun. But let's drop in a little dummy, just for reference size. So we have this little dummy here that I created. I took a medium human, and I
Oh, look at that. That
I
thing's
made him for
huge.
my little size. Oh yeah, he's enormous. So there's a medium human size thing, and there's Cthulhu. So or the shape of him.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, so they gave me this huge template to work in. I think the first question I asked in VoxEdit was, I messaged Dizzy like right away, and I said, "How big is 512 by 512?" And he said, "Well, you're going to build a bounding box, and then you're going to build another one, and then put 2 more in front of that, and then put 4 on top of that." And there you go. That's what
That's
you
a
have to work in.
massive
I had
piece,
no
right.
idea what this. Yeah, this could have been 2 inches tall for all I cared. I didn't know what I was doing. I very quickly learned about face count. I wanted to, my first project. I wanted to learn what the IK button did, like, and inverse kinematics, and it doesn't work. It's broken. Don't try yet. It'll come
Okay.
around. But yeah, but I wanted to make it function and move all by itself and all that fun stuff. So I wanted to go big or go home. I wanted to learn, trial by fire and get it going, and that's where I started. And then I got addicted to contests, and it was all because I had a lot of help from people in my Twitch chat. Like Shakespeare said, like I had opened up voice channels, and he shows up and like took the invitation, and we started rapping about like what buttons to press, what buttons not to press, how we can make stuff work. And we just really, I feel like we really kicked it off. And so I like to say he came into the voice channel and he just never left. And
Okay.
it's been wonderful. Since then we've done, geez, I was trying to count it once. It's been at least 10 contests that we've done on stream,
Whew.
right down to the wire some days. And we've walked through the process of VoxEdit, we've walked through the process of rendering, we've walked through the process of just filling out the form and like entering a contest, like from start to finish. And all the stress and all the fun that goes with it, and the imagination from chat, probably is what made a lot of these crazy ideas come to life more than anything I could have come up with by myself. So that's just kind of how the stream grew. And so now we stream and we educate wherever we can, answer questions, and yeah.
Okay, so with this 3-week kind of build here being your very first project, in Pele, you're hilarious. We'll get there in just a moment, my friend. But with this one being your very first project, and you had that kind of 3-week time period, to where we can kind of we'll flip over to Shakespeare's screen here, where you have something like your your arcade here, this cabinet. How long did this build take you? Our chat wants to know.
Okay, yeah, it took I want to say maybe 2 weeks, something like
Okay.
that. In terms of overall time, like how many hours, like specifically, I don't know, but like how I told my chat to the story about it, this with the creator fund, it goes like kind of like on a monthly thing, and so if you don't finish stuff, it'll carry over into the next month. And this one I specifically did want to do it to the end of the month, so I had more time to do the animations, and so I want to say it was probably about 2 weeks time, something like that.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you can really, show a contrast in just how much time you can put into something. What is it, 10,000 hours to make a master? But as we're over here live today, I want to remind everybody, season 3 on the 24th. What's up? We can't get those passes yet. We're almost there. We had a lot of beans this week. We got Joseph next week, and we have more guests this week. And when season 4, says Bjorn. Not quite, not quite. But
Nope.
what I'm going to do for this chat right now, as Pele wants, we're going to send out a form to maybe get a Wizzy purple enhanced hat. It might be pretty cool to get. So go check that out. It also has some extra links in there, like the Linktree link that you guys can go through and be able to find all of the extra Medium articles and all of the knowledge you need. And RX7801 wants to know when KYC started, and it hasn't officially gotten through yet. That's a question all of us want to know. We've just done that little test run for those season 2 1000. Otherwise, more news real soon. Maddox, I see you're working over there. What are you running through here? Is this is our latest game jam 5th place victory? Am I mistaken?
Oh yeah, I wanted to show off the buzzsaw as well, because I have that added to my inventory from Shakespeare. And but yeah, this is Imperium Rock that me and Karatros put together, and yeah, this was our VoxEdit game jam entry. Love it, and yeah, just showing it off, having fun. But
so
yeah.
while being in the creator fund, you've gotten a lot of time with VoxEdit, and I imagine on your own time you've been doing Game Maker, and I know for a fact you've been doing Game Maker because we gotten to watch some of your streams, OG Shakespeare. And on the flip side, with your experience that we now know, how likely is it to where you're going to see cases like Maddox of people putting in that dedication and being able to have zero knowledge and make a game jam winning entry with a collab in 3 weeks or in 3 months rather?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be definitely more common because, like, for that same equalization factor that I was mentioning earlier, if you have the talent, you have the focus, you'll be able to achieve quite a bit. Because ultimately, how I've described the Sandbox in a lot of ways is kind of like digital Legos. So if you might be able to sculpt something that's lifelike or draw a portrait that's photorealistic, but if you're going to make that same portrait out of Legos, it doesn't really matter, does it? And so this is kind of a similar thing with Sandbox, and like even for myself and some of the different clients I'm working for these days, that there's a threshold, and like we're not going to be able, Max and I aren't going to be able to handle all of it, and so we'll be able to bring in more people for ourselves, for our own these different projects that we got. And in doing that, there'll be training. It's not just going to be like, oh, here you go, and have at it. And there is ways that, especially now, dealing with the Sandbox for so long now as I have, and seeing so many different assets and so many different artists, I can see how the Sandbox also sort of pioneered this way of like taking just about anyone, in a sense, like the Creator Fund was, and then showing them how to kind of do these creations in a fashion that's efficient and works in the game at the highest possible quality. And so this is something that we'll be able to do even for like ourselves going into the future. I know we're not going to be the only people. We're going to be showing someone who knows zero, like where to start from ground one to making an animated asset, to importing it, to using it, to putting it in the marketplace. It's going to be more and more. It's going to get easier and easier. And so that's the other thing too. As the sandbox itself progresses, is it's going to be easier for more general users to come in with zero knowledge, just an interest and a passion, and be able to grow that passion into some sand. I mean, that's that's the really cool part about it.
Get all the
Right,
sand.
right. And that's what's really separating a lot of, I gotta say, these metaverses, and really where a lot of Web3 is going, as people are trying to concentrate on, that play to earn, instead of trying to mix a little bit of both here as we're playing. And then we're also having that earn in the background as we cultivate an artist kind of talent. As Talbar LLC says in the chat over on Twitch, Sandbox is making me a gamer. Glad to hear it.
Awesome. It's good to see Game Dizzy hanging out with us now too.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Dizzy, what's up, dude?
Rating party. But yeah, definitely, and I think that's the other flip side of the coin. Because I think we have a lot of crypto enthusiasts who may not have been gamers, who are seeing how easy it is to jump in, have a little fun, make some sand. I mean, that's something that's pretty unique to the sandbox still too. I'm sure a lot will imitate going forward, but at least right now, I mean, that was one of the things I was talking about on my stream yesterday, was how they sprung it on us at the end of the last season, but how if you completed all of the quests, you got 95 sand. And that's a decent amount of money, no matter which country you're in. You know what I mean? So, and that's just
Right.
for playing. Just
That's a
going through
paycheck.
and having fun. Mm-hmm.
For sure, for sure. So we have some mechanics that you're doing here. You're shooting some people. You're doing some things. So
I am not doing as good at my game as I should be, but yes. So, yeah, we built all these things you see here. Characters built a lot. I built a lot, and this turret here we have rigged up to spawn an asset as a launcher. Sorry, let me get to the right one. So that the idea was to shoot the spaceships as they come in, and if you don't, you are punished, because then the soldiers would be spawned to then fight. So yeah, we got punished because I didn't defeat all of our spaceships, but it's not too bad. We just gotta get good and not die, because these guys are beefy. We did not let you guys off easy.
Yeah,
but
difficult actually.
the
I think I saw
respawn
Joseph
points
die a
are
couple
not
of times
bad.
on that.
oh yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
this one kicked Joe's butt.
Yeah, but all in good fun. We hooked him up with lots of defense gems. Yeah. Oh, dead. But we put the spawn point not too far away. So but yeah, so there's a lot of numpads sitting right below me, I think. And lots of mechanics went into this. Really genius concept. Characters just had this vision of these spaceships coming in and invading our little asteroid here, which is what we're all on. And yeah, a lot of fun. But yeah,
Actually, I can't talk dying.
I can't.
right. I can see you trying to
I
come
was
up with a
doing very
sentence
good,
here
guys.
as we're doing our best.
Blah blah blah.
Right. No worries, no worries. I want to give a quick shout out to Game Dizzy popping in here. Make sure
yes.
to give Game Dizzy some love for sure, as they're always working hard in the space. And also shout out to Wet Noodle. Wet Noodle 1
Oh, hey.
over on Twitch. Get an affiliate. Congratulations, friend. Gotta say.
Yeah, Max,
They'll be
switch
streaming
to the
6
Battlefield,
p.m.
thanks.
GMT. What up? We'll get it.
Sorry
Let's
about that,
see.
sorry.
Let's see that blaze saber. What do we got here?
I am on. So I am, unfortunately, in between moving my wallet again. I had just recently gotten everything onto a ledger, and yep, I misplaced that particular ledger's seed phrase. I can still access it, but I don't feel comfortable not knowing the seed phrase, so I have to move it
Yeah.
again to another ledger, which I
Okay.
am fine. I can do it. It's
Deep
okay.
breaths, friend. Deep breaths.
But a lot of my inventory is elsewhere, so sorry. I have it. I did get a blaze saber recently, and that was super helpful. But yes, I don't know. I'm excited talking about space. See this little Navi droid riding around my head. We also are directly working with Outer Studios, and they've just been super kind to us in a lot of ways, working with them. They are they are the meta realtors. They dropped well, I call them the kings of modular. They just like to build stuff that makes it really easy for builders to come together and put stuff together, because the everything snaps together as you're building it. So it just makes it super duper easy. And the recent thing, if you're following them on Twitter already, was their space stuff, their space tunnels, space assets.
I
Everything
know I love
again
my
snaps
space
together.
stuff.
All your space stuff.
Technical
No,
term.
it's technical term. Yep. Very, very, very fun because you know, we're not, we've got, you know, we've got the underground now, and now they're going up. So very, very fun.
I can't
Okay.
wait for those too. And Max kind of just, I think he's too busy trying not to die. He's
Try not
forgetting that there is going to be some pretty neat projects that we're working on in conjunction with our studios, and so Max's speakers, for instance, are going to go on sale through the Outer Studios section as we highlight the pop-up store items that they got. And for myself, I have a t-shirt shop that's coming in conjunction with the Outer Studios pop-up stores that will be out. And you never know, you know, there'll be more of an invitation for more artists to participate with Outer Studios as time goes on. This is one of the goals that they had for their land, even actually, is to kind of like what you're doing here with the streams, is highlight some of the community builders and be able to kind of show off some more fun items to get in the sandbox. Really.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think this is terrible beans for me to say, but yeah, we will be helping out with hosting some contests that ultimately will lead to being featured on this land that we're talking about. Getting your assets, you know, on the land as like a featured pop-up. So that's something Outer Studios is looking to do, and I'm really, really excited to be a part of that because that's going to be a lot of fun.
And that's something that a lot of folks seem to kind of forget that they can do with their own land, is that you can change what's published on it, right? So you can have a highlight of one game one week and a different one the following week. You don't have to have it to where your NFT gate is only one experience.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
No, it can change, because you can take one experience, publish it on your owned land, and then you can take another another experience and publish it on that same land. Kind of like a, you know, episode or theme of the week, whatever you choose, it's yours.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of contests to be featured on people's lands, and I know when Outer Studios sees fit, they're going to give another preview of this land, and it looks fantastic. I mean, you know, Danny over there is one of the main designers, and he comes from an architectural background, and it really shows. I mean, in terms of just the high quality nature of their creations, and I think we've had a preview of some of their land, and I mean, it looks like almost like a regular 3D model for architecture. I mean, it's pretty amazing what he's been able to achieve in the sandbox.
Oh, right on. Looking forward to seeing what Outer does in the future. As you were saying, though, Maddox.
Oh, no, I was just noticing Game Dizzy in the chat. Game Dizzy is, he's been mentioning this and doing this over in the Sandstorm as well.
Right.
They feature plenty of our artists and their partners and projects that are going on in the sandbox right now, which is great.
And once
Bringing
again,
NFTs to life.
We can do another shout out here to the Sandstorm meetup. Make sure to go give them a look up over on Twitter. They have a lot of fantastic things going on. Now, if we can go on to something relevant there, Dr. Metaverso wants to know if changing up what's published on your land is going to cost a gas or a fee or something like that. And it will, but you know, being on the Polygon network as everything's getting transferred over, it'll be pennies. So you should be fine on that end. Though RX7801 over on YouTube wants to know, or has a question, says, so there is a chance that even after Season 3 starts, the KYC will not be implemented yet. It will be. That is the idea as we're going forward, but whether or not you will actually be get that check mark is another question, though everybody that has done it so far has been like, yo, it only took me like 10 minutes. It was super easy. So we'll make sure to try and streamline as best as possible. And if you guys are struggling, then please try and contact one of us. We'll try and make sure that you get in the right direction. Instantly Vintage says, wait, we need to KYC. It's only for winning any sort of profit that you can take from a stream, contest, all of the above, raffle. If you want the money, you gotta KYC. Yes, in order to claim those rewards.
I'm very excited though. A little frustrated with moving my ledger around so many times. You know,
right.
That's what I'm stressing so hard. I want to get all the things that I want as associated with my Sandbox account, my KYC account, to be in the one place I want them, which is a ledger. And so that's maybe my stressor, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I was excited. I'm very excited about the change myself.
Well, Music and Knowledge wants to know if you guys took part in the Playboy contest that is happening right now.
I
actually did,
but yeah, Shakespeare did, right?
Yeah. And it was kind of like an experiment too. Well, actually, I think I have it in my inventory still. Give me a second. Because I want the t-shirt shop that I mentioned working with with our studios. I wanted to get into more intricate models. You know what I mean? In terms of being able to do a little bit like higher fidelity logos and things like that. And so the Playboy thing was in front of me at the time, so I'm like, that's a good one to try with. And so I ended up doing a kind of a simple entry, but at the same time, it's kind of fun. It's animated t-shirt. So,
okay, that's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, and I did look at the rules. It didn't expressly say no logos, no icon. So I'm like, sure, I'll go ahead and just enter it.
Right.
Yeah, because there is a difference in legalese. It really does make a difference. Like, so and like I said, it wasn't like I was creating this going like, ooh, I'm gonna win a bunch of sand from Playboy. Not at all. And like how I did end up kind of taking that idea into the Outer Studios t-shirt that I'm developing right now, and made this glowing version of that one. And I was kind of doing the edge technique in terms of making some of these designs versus the classic voxel version of it. And so yeah, this is a cool little preview of one of those shirts that's going to be available in those stores, as well as a bunch of other things. And there's got a lot of shirts to make.
So, I'm into it. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead there, Maddox.
No, I just like all the bending going on and all the angles,
Right.
The angles are fun. They're not easy, but they are fun.
You can do a lot with angles.
Yeah.
And it really, sorry there, chat. It really will change up your game too. Being able to just simply turn something, as we saw with when we had our guest AU24K, we got the example of just simply using rectangles to shift things around to really shape up what you're working with. So use your creativity, guys.
He's a super inspiration, by the way, mentioning Kay. I'm looking for somebody that's near and dear to your heart, Conrad, but I love working with angles when you can. I'll find it.
No worries. And we have some confusion in the chat from KYC. If it is available for your account, it'll be underneath the settings tab. You should be able to click on sandbox.game. And let me walk myself through it as well. It's been a second since I've looked at it. So opening up your settings tab right on the left-hand side there. Right on the left, curse me. Underneath the settings there, it should say account verification if you have it available. Otherwise, if not, be patient and we'll get there real soon. And that's only if you're going to be a winner, you'll have to KYC. And there are some concerns with what happens to the winners that are KYC'd but that win but aren't KYC'd rather, and it'll probably just get added back into the pool, if anything, or it'll float off into the ether. We'll find out real soon on details of that one. Hopefully, we don't just end up with 7,000 alpha passes just in nobody's account. That'd be very sad. But I don't think that's how the Sandbox are gonna do it. I think they're gonna make it a little easier for us. But what do you got going on here? You got some.
Oh, yeah.
We have a tub. Let's look at this tub. We'll show off what that was. That little preview was here in just a second. But what do you got going on with this tub?
And this is kind of where we're talking about the different styles of voxel creation and how this is the low poly kind is what they're talking about. And this is it was just one of the first ones I saw in my inventory to kind of give an example. And this is one of the things I think that, like, for instance, like Auto24K excels at is this low poly kind of production style. And we can see that too with like some of the difference in the cars that we've seen in the marketplace before. But how this is an example of one of the bathtubs I made using that kind of technique. And then where is it? And then here's a jet ski. And like a lot of my stream knows the saga of the jet ski. And this is one of those times. This one is it's labeled right now creator fun, but it's not gonna be a creator fun one after all. And the bottom is going to be smoothed out. But this literally has both of those block styles together with the low poly. But this ultimately was rejected because it's not quite the Sandbox style. But that's okay. I mean, it's going to be minted on UGC for me, and it'll be part of the giveaways on the stream. So that's kind of cool.
Right. It's a really clean looking jet ski, though.
That's the problem.
Well, thank you.
I know.
Too
we don't want it to be too clean. We need some boxes in there. We need some extra shapes. And I do want to clarify once again for everybody in the chat, if KYC isn't there underneath your account settings, don't even worry about it. Things will flow real soon. And as Bjorn says, it smells like alpha over here. In due time, RX78 wants to know when will we start giving away alpha passes of season 3 in a live streams. It won't be today, but it'll probably be after the 24th. And Game Dizzy, I didn't forget you, friend. Will land sales be available to KYC accounts in the next land scale exclusively?
That's a great question.
That is a hope.
It's a great question.
I can say that right now.
Whether or not that question more often.
Whether or not we get confirmation is going to be up to Joe real soon. But as we find out some beans, as Joe has a lot going on in his plate at this time. I've been trying to be like, yo, feed me that news, and he's like, I can't do it. It has to come from my mouth. So in due time, we'll get them beans. But let's go ahead and what is this that you're showcasing here, Maddox?
Do you recognize this lady?
Oh, that would happen to be my lovely significant other, Holly. It looks like we've done some fan work, and I'm to understand that you got the face from
I got
Mandy Wayward.
The head
itself.
Head, just the head. None of Wayward's fanciness. She just gave me the head block. None of her fancy anything. So the eyeliner, the lips, that's all me. I gotta take the credit for that. That's the fun.
Yeah.
That's the fun that angles can do. They're not easy, but they are fun. It takes forever to get everything just lined up just so. But when you do it right, it can look really, really cool. And this is one of my favorite examples, actually, of doing just that. So just wanted to share that. But yeah, I reached out to Holly and I said, hey, if you were a voxelized you, what kind of you would you want to represent? So this is a Holly Suki. So yeah, very fun.
She loves her some ninjas and all sorts of those like anime stylizing. That's just Holly for you. Uncanny likeness, says Maxi Mac. Do you think you could pull this up on VoxEdit for us so we can actually see those angles?
I think I did. Yeah. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Yeah. So here's Holly. And use some emissives on the actual model, and there's some more angles on the back. I put the little sun on the back there, so that's nice.
Oh, that's really clean looking.
Yeah. But so then to make up the lips and eyes, right? We've got essentially just
Those
a
are
bunch of
very
blocks
sharp.
on their corners. Yeah, exactly. So it's many, you know. You just gotta go carefully. And I think what I did here was I really like to make work, because like this is very like symmetrical. I could never do this, like doing this one here, doing that one there. Work from one side and learn how to use your pivot points to flip them over to the other side.
Now we got
yeah.
a bit of an example of how to reset pivot points from AU24K. Can you show that off again for us? As you mean you flip your pivot points here?
See, yes. So, let's see. What can we add and flip?
Just do what you did. I mean, couldn't you just export the hierarchy for the brow, blah blah blah? You know.
I have those in different files. Let's see. If I go.
No
Okay, I see
pressure
what you're
if you
saying
don't
there.
want to go backwards here on it.
No. It's fine.
And
Let's see
so more
here.
like choosing the path, because it literally takes like, because for instance, let's say the eyebrow is all one parented node. You'd
This one right
export
here.
that. You'd export the hierarchy as say right brow, and then
I
you'd
just do
open
them as
back up.
flip. I do them as
Yeah.
flips, and so I know that like this is
Mhm.
cat liner. All right, let's see. Was it liner? It won't let me see it, but I would label it as a flip. I would go into it and then flip it, and then add it, like re-import the hierarchy to then fall onto the other side. So what he's saying is we go here, export hierarchy. That was, we'll just call it liner flip. That's a different one. Save. Oh, I already have one. Liner flip. Let's see. Let's call it test flip. Save. All right. So now we have. Oh, I just saved that one. Oops. Hang on. Where did I do it from there? We would want this whole thing because this is the parent of each one of these liner children. And let's go check out what it was. So we would save where we were. We already have it here, so we're gonna add it back in, but go home, yes. We're gonna open file. Oh, you can see it there. There's my test flip. So we're gonna go to file, test flip. We're gonna grab it, open. And that's all it is inside of the head. You know, you're only seeing the edge of that, but that's what makes up that nice liner there. Just this, here we go. Just this corner right here is all you're seeing. Everything else is going to be hiding inside the head. But so this is for what we're looking at, Ollie's right eyeliner. And if we wanted to make it to the left, boop, we flip, and now it's on the left. And so we can flip that any which way we really wanted to.
Oh goodness.
Mirror, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I did. I would just flip it over to the other side, and then I would save it again. Then, when I go back to the original, I would want to import it. So, back to Holly. Then, I should have saved a copy of Holly. That's alright. I got it. Oh,
As
look at how
instantly
many
Vintage over on the Twitch chat says, that must have taken forever. There is definitely an appreciation for this craft.
Indeed. It didn't take as long as you think. Once you get fast and it's just practice. I think the longest part was just learning how to do all this stuff. But then once you get it, it's not terrible. So we've got. Let's see if we want to put that here. We're gonna import it now. Import, test flip. It's now the other way. Open, and now it should fall right into place. Let's see. Wish I knew what that was called. I think that's this one. Let's find out. Yep, there we go. And so that was the other one this one I made originally. This was our flip of a flip. And yeah, there it goes. So that's what we just moved. And now it's back in place. We can raise it up. We can put it down. Whatever.
Oh goodness.
So
okay.
yeah, how about that? So there you go. So work smart, not hard. Just learn all your. We can make a mustache. Let's do that.
Give Holly an extra mustache. It's what she would want, honestly.
I think she would. I don't see her saying no. I think that would be fun. But
Nino, my friend, you are unfortunately a little late. We are about to announce our winner for the Wizzy Purple Hat. I'm going to share Shakespeare's wonderful jet ski here. as I've
the
already dedupified. We've already gone through it. We've already done this all in the background while our two friendly guests here are showing off some of their work. So many things to do, so little motivation, says Instantly Vintage. Well, my friend, hang out in some of these chats, get in with the community itself. But on to our Wizzy, the enhanced hat. I keep wanting to say lucky, like it physically harms me. I'm not sure that chat can see it, but oh my goodness. So on the form itself, you guys have a lot of talents that you wouldn't put on a resume. Thank you so much for filling this out. And then of course, I put down in the chat or in the form, are you following the Sandbox on Twitter? And it was yes. And if you guys remember, there's another button that you could press, yes, in a different spot. Out of 130 responses, 129 of you said yes. Only one of you said yes in a different spot. So by default, you have won over on YouTube, Conspiracies77, and your talent, of course, is telling bad dad jokes. Congratulations on clicking yes in a different spot as you solidified yourself in the win on today's giveaway for the Wizzy, the purple enhanced hat.
Really? That's awesome.
Legitimately.
That is good. Yeah.
You got it, Conspiracy. Follow your dreams. Always click that second button. Let's go. Alrighty.
I'm so afraid to touch it. That's all. Jeez.
I know, right?
It must be a trick.
And Libra Stark over on YouTube says, how close do you think we are in being able to mint our own assets? And that can kind of go along with how the Creator Fund is and how UGC is, right? So we're closer than you think. So soon TM. But at the same time, I cannot give you any sort of information to elaborate on that one.
What we know is that our Creator Fund folks get to kind of preview and test out a lot. They get to be really, really awesome guinea pigs for us.
Well,
so
kind of.
kind of.
Because like for the most, I'm using the same box set as everyone else.
Yeah.
And we might get told like 5 minutes before everyone else on some things. Like, you know, Conrad knows how it goes. Like you said, but like how in terms of there's other things that happen, like because you know how the Creator Fund is there to help stock the market, right? And then what happens when the market goes live? And so these questions are starting to be answered a little bit beforehand for us. And so in prep for what we're seeing, which is going to be UGC. And it does seem like it's coming quick. Like, I mean, because how we see even in the marketplace, they made it a little more difficult to add other people's assets to your gaming experience, for instance, right now. And there has been some indicators that we've gotten in terms of just like some stuff coming up soon. Like there's no dates, like so I'm not withholding any dates. I've not been told that, but you can see like there's just a prep for something, and there's some information that comes out that's going towards that, and so. And like how I mentioned on my streams, I wouldn't be surprised if it's this year that we actually do see the UGC go open to some degree.
Oh wow,
Not
okay.
many months of the year.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't know why they'd be telling us like right now, like if it's like 8 months from now, like and usually when they're telling us stuff, like I said, it's like 5 minutes before everyone else gets to check it out. But
so this is some means.
Yeah, it really kind of is, just like how there is, you know, and we have been prepped for some of the 7 features. So this is like something that they told us to keep in mind going forward. So like I said, no dates, no whatever, but they're just kind of like, and a lot of the stuff isn't like you haven't heard it before, like how Joseph's went into saying how like steps are going to be handled different by the engine now, and angles and stuff like that are going to be handled. But like that, there wasn't like, hey, workforce, keep this in mind while doing the stuff going forward. And so some of that stuff is coming up now. And like I said, some recent stuff leads me to believe that it might be pretty quick, because it was like there was definitely preparing us for UGC in the sense of like, you know, don't worry, you know, you guys will be highlighted in some way or stuff like that.
As Jazzwolf over right, breadcrumbs. Jazzwolf over on the Twitch chat points out, all the assets on and the marketplace needs to be moved over onto the Polygon network first. And also
true.
Jazz points out that there is now a report function in the marketplace now.
Oh, didn't notice that one.
That is brand new. Ooh, we're gonna have to
and that's a great system that I've heard so far about how that's going to be handled. I think it'll work out pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in action.
Can't wait to see it. Now, PG Live PT says after season 3 we have Snoopverse season. That means that everyone can create a season with a leaderboard! Explanation points. Yes and maybe no. We're not sure. At this point in time, we're not even sure where Snoopverse season is going to fit in things. Whether or not it's going to be alongside of this season or really what's going on. But as we move forward, of course, make sure you tune in on these streams right here as we get all the extra beans along with you guys. And we try and report on everything. So with the latest Creator Fun NFT showcase, we did get to see some things that were pointed out there. I'm going to go ahead and share that with the chat as we can see what the Creator Fun is kind of doing here.
Oh yeah.
We can see your dog that you've been working on stream recently. Is that something that you could bring up for us here?
Oh yeah, the dog, the song of the dog too. Yes. Hold on. Because my audience will remember too. Because I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I was gonna do this attack dog. It's gonna be so fun. It shouldn't be that difficult. I'll work for the medium.
It's a lot of fun. Right.
I think I'm gonna center it around this attack though. This attack's gonna be cool. It's like a minigun attack through the snout. It'll be fun. And then as time went on, I start trying it. I'm like, wait a minute, the attack 2 doesn't look good, so I need to make an attack 2. And then of course we have attack 3 in terms of NPCs and stuff like that. If you're gonna run around with it, so I might as well make attack 3. And then I'm like,
now it's tail shooting. Around. Oh no.
Yeah. And now I'm running around as my dog, but then like like my run looks kind of funny. Where would it go? Run looks kind of funny because a robot doesn't need to breathe. So I need to change that animation so the robot doesn't breathe but does have some momentum. And then same thing at the walk. It's like, what does the walk do? Because it's once again you see the animation on the me and mammal does that. And so to get rid of all that, and this thing ended up taking like way longer than I expected.
And that's what makes it so amazing.
And same thing with the jump. I'm like, it's obviously not going to jump like a normal thing, so I might as well make it a little rocket that comes out and gives a little rocket boost as this jump.
Oh no, that's cute. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and that's his thing. That's also the dodge too. The dodge kind of has the rocket come out a little bit different, a little longer animation.
Okay, so we kind of get that jet ski forward, the little hover forward.
And then I found out how important idle combat 01. That's another thing I have to advise all of you creators out there. Making NPCs that you want to run around, make sure you do idle combat 01 as one of the most priority, because it's going to look funny when you attack and then stop. And in this instance, what happened was it was the laser. If I didn't do this, the laser would kind of like idle through my body, and I kind of see it. So I had to make a whole new idle animation for that. And then I figured too, like the death pose, it should just fall apart.
Oh goodness, he completely comes apart.
Poor poppers.
See the death pose, so you kind of see where it's all eventually kind of settles through. So, and then of course I had to shut the light, because if the eye is actually a little asset in there that turns on and off and moves. So like walk, for instance, you'll see it scanning a little bit more, and back and forth subtly. And but yeah, so this was that one that made it to. This is for the AI takeover dystopian theme. I was mentioning that's kind of one of the things that is going to be showcased. Another batch of them is going to be minted for the dystopian theme. See if there's any other ones I missed here. Well, Statistical's just standing there, but yeah, this is the attacks work pretty good too. So if you're gonna, and right now you can get it into your experience just to test drive it by hitting this guy, and it does work pretty good as an NPC. so you can just kind of drive it around and do the 3 attacks. Because you know how like in generally speaking, the avatar slash NPC, the first attack is this way, this that way, and then the third one is the spinning around. Um, and so that's kind of like the general order of it. And so yes, this robot dog will kind of do the machine gun forward, lasers, then shoot a rocket at you. In terms of you click 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 click, it's pretty fun.
Okay, well, Instantly Vintage has the good suggestion of being able to pick up a weapon after he dies. So, kind of falls to the ground. Maybe you pick up that machine gun, keep going.
Yeah, I can maybe make an asset for that where it's where it spawns after it falls apart. Yeah, absolutely. In the game maker, some kind of zaniness going on in there. Absolutely.
I love it, guys. I love it. Well, is there anything that we're really looking forward to with season 3, as we just got the full announcement just yesterday? Any partnership that you guys are looking forward to, or any games that you're looking forward to that you could kind of see there?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely. I can't wait to get back into the Fun Guy Kingdom. You know, I think that Touche's social hub, for instance, was really fun just to hang out in and do like hide and seeks in and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's been updated, and there may even be more. And so I can't wait to get back into there. But really, like how I'd say what I'm most anticipating is all the interactions that we're gonna have together. I mean, how I said the stream, all of our stream content's going to change because we're going to be able to hop into games together again. You know, how complete the different quests together, and that's one of the main things I'm looking forward to. And it's kind of hard to say I anticipate this studio because there's so many that are new, and so I guess that's one of the things I guess I could say I'm pretty excited for, is to try some of the new partners' content as well, or at least new to us, shall we say, and being able to play some of their experiences.
Right, right.
Interoperability. I'm excited for some other game. Like, just I keep seeing people entering the sandbox. You know, from our celebrities that we know about to some other NFT blockchain games. It seems like the common theme or the connection is the sandbox, and that's what I'm excited for. I was just scrolling through and I'm seeing one that I'm with now, where they're going to be making a voxelized version of something we own. I was looking for the map is what I was looking for, but yeah.
No worries. So you can actually find that. It's going to be right on that that starting video that it was pinned. If you wanted to see that map,
yeah, that's what I was looking for.
It's going to be pinned on the Twitter page there.
There he is.
Off of season 3. Save the date, guys. August 24th.
It'll be fun.
I'll pull up Maddox's screen here.
And it will be good to see like Atari mentioned, like I mentioned in the chat, because I mean they've been a partner for forever, and we've seen some assets, but looks like this is gonna be one of the first games, so that's one of the things that's really exciting too.
That's what's gonna be the really wild thing, is, you know, what type of gameplay are we going to get from some of these studios, and you know, who is out there that we know that have been working secretly with some of these companies. I can't wait for a lot of our friends to be able to go, oh my goodness gracious, like, come check this out, guys. We're working so hard on this for 8 months, you know, a year, whatever. And we're about to see a lot of people come forward, a lot of studios go, dude, check it out. We got a lot of love to show you. So,
and all of our Game Jam winning games as well. People that are near and dear to us, you know, those are all going to be there. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. I already was excited looking at the splash page and seeing some of our friends, you know, winning contest entries already plastered right in the splash. It was nice.
Oh yeah, 100%. Looking forward to it all, if I'm being real. There's not going to be one moment of this extra bit of time that we're getting. Oh my goodness, 10 weeks? There's not going to be one moment that isn't going to be busy. I'm
already
so
tired.
I know, we're already exhausted. We're in the pre-show and we're just how do we move on?
A lot of grinding. I'm excited. Yeah.
Jazz Wolf, I know, is excited about A7X as well. I'm super hyped for them. Warner coming in, Meta Dungeon. Let's go. Now,
Okay.
as we're coming down to the last of it here for tonight's show, thank you so much. I want to say again for joining us. But what is something that going back between game jam after game jam? What is something that you're just struggling with as far as like trying to keep that inspiration going?
I think I don't know. I'm newer to this whole thing, but I think what keeps it I'll I don't know. I almost want you to say it. I don't want to say it for you, but um Shakespeare tells me all the time, follow like if it's not inspiring you in the moment, don't work on it. You're not going to get the best result. And like follow what inspires you, to make. And so yeah, when it gets stuck, like that's what I try to do. Even if it's like it doesn't have to be for a contest or for sand or for anything, just for pure practice and pleasure, something that's exciting. Um, just to doink around. And then all sorts of stuff comes from it. But I enjoy working with the people we partner with and that we have as clients now, and it's fun, just to bring ideas and dreams to life, and that's what keeps me going, I guess, and it's yeah.
Okay, so in Shakespeare, we're talking with Maddox here, and they're getting some burnout. We got so much talent there brewing. You've got real life getting in the way, of course, because I know you still have a family, a full family at that Maddox, and a job still you're working on the side. So trying to balance life has got to be a bit hard. And doing this grind for the past 6 months for you now?
No, maybe 4, 5, maybe.
Okay, yeah. So we're
March of this year. So.
Okay, since March. So then on the flip side of that, once again, we have the lack of better words here, the OG. What keeps you from experiencing that burnout and being in that creator fund? You're having a lot of you have to do things in that sandbox style, right? You have to separate yourself from your own style. What keeps you from getting burnt out?
Really, this whole experience is really amazing, and being in early to it. I mean, everyone now, even if you're just gonna get in this alpha, for instance, these people, it's still pretty early, and it's been really exciting seeing how it's all snowballed in its momentum towards this really positive end. And like how I mentioned a lot on my stream, how the community itself is exemplary in terms of even being welcoming and all these other things, and just being part of that and knowing that I'm contributing to this going forward has been a center motivation, um, because it's just been amazing to see the success, in terms of the project, all the colleagues involved with this, everything, and to me, that's one of the big things, and creative wise. Honestly, I've been doing art so long. It's like you tell me you need something, and if it's a professional gig and you're paying for me, I'll do it. I'll do a good job. That part's like automatic to me in that sense. And that's one of the things that why I think I took to the Creator Fund so well is because I had so much experience as a contract artist, and that's one of the things with the Creator Fund. To me, is it has a lot in terms of motivation there, pure professional, in the sense that this company is asking for these items, and I want to deliver those. It's my own will in that sense to see it through, and like I said, I definitely believe in the project enough to jump on. And like I said, there's a lot that I've learned from being in the Creator Fund, and learning to be more efficient, learning to kind of really craft within a certain style, and even just that knowledge keeps me from getting burned out too. It's because it's like, even though we're presenting new themes, and each new theme has to be within that style, so there's always a challenge. um, and that's one of the things too, that if how we were mentioned a little bit off stream about how I've seen a lot of artists come and go because they don't realize that the creator fund is like a legit gig. Like there's a quota of how many items you need and stuff like that. So you really do have to have a good intrinsic sort of motivator to have longevity in there. And like I said, there's just so many factors that line up with Sandbox. It's kind of hard for me to get burned out. I mean, I need breaks from time to time, but ultimately that was one of the things that I found was kind of amazing for me was that here I had this whole other career before this, right? That didn't really, I had my past experience up until like say there's 2 years of Sandbox here, and they say the 5 years before that was in like a different industry, and I was doing this Sandbox for just for pure fun because I'm like, wow, this looks cool, and I can make some sand, and so just doing that, and then it's just snowballs, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, there's more need, more demand for everything, there's more people paying for gigs, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'd rather do this anyways. I was just doing this because I love to make games and animations and art and stuff. um, and so it really was a blessing in that sense.
Okay. Well, that's really great to hear that, you're figuring out ways to keep on the grind and not get burnt out. Is there anything that, as Game Dizzy, kind of having a conversation there in the chat with Maddox, is there anything that really would stick out for you artist-wise? Like, what is going to make your art stick out to everybody else out there? So what is that thing that is going to make it pop for you in that sense?
I mean, I think that this is what comes up a lot in a lot of other streams too, and I think that the census is how much utilization your asset has in the marketplace, with some exception. You know what I mean? Because you can have a flower, for instance, right? And you have that flower and it doesn't do anything. But then let's say you have that same flower and it now moves with wind, it now drops seeds, it gets up like a little person and runs away. And how much which one do you think people would probably want to buy more? You know what I mean? And so things like this is what you want to take in consideration when you're publishing your items, and making sure that they go seamlessly into the game maker, because there really is, like how the subject was brought up, how with K realized organically that the pivot points are very important, and that's one of the things that one of the checklists in the creator fund, pivot has to be on point, things like that. And so making sure that these things are done, or like your assets are trimmed, because you might not see it immediately in the marketplace, but then when you bring it to the game maker and your hitbox, like that flower model ends here, and then your hitbox ends up here because you didn't trim your model back down here.
Oh,
Like,
no,
this is gonna
right.
matter. This is gonna matter in who sells what in the market. So I'd highly advise anyone who's gonna go to market to make sure you don't rush any of your items out. Make sure you go through the checklist of my pivots there. Are things trimmed? Is there any more value I can add to this in terms of functionality? And I think those things are going to make everything stand out a lot more than, oh, I can paint photorealistic looking voxels on a large canvas. Or I can make a bunch of tentacles move all crazy, but if those tentacles move
Right,
all
right.
crazy, and it's just one big animated sculpture. That's all you can use it for.
This is
So,
just this is just a Cthulhu is just a giant piece of art. That's all he can do. He can move, but that's all he does right now. If I wanted to make him actually function, there'd be a lot more animations to go into it.
I saw that. I saw that flash for a second there. You shout out to
He
the
was just in
Flash.
for a flash. Just
He's
a
yep,
flash.
one of my favorite Twitch DJs.
I know that.
But otherwise, but basically what I'm hearing from you guys is getting solid with that animation is going to really set people apart. Is that true?
probably, yeah. I mean, with some exception. I mean, because texturing is really important too. Don't get me wrong, and how I would say PandaPops is a good example of sandbox style texturing. I mean, it's just that's what they're looking for in terms of, you have a sort of less is more approach, a suggestion of a texture rather than you're like texturizing the entire model, things like that. And then, well, once again, that's the sandbox style. There's other styles that are evolving, and who knows what someone else may evolve soon enough in terms of some of these texturing styles. So sometimes that, but ultimately, like in terms of, buy for the buck, I think the more functionality you have for a lot of these, the more they're going to be enticing for the customers.
Right, right. Well,
It's
excellent.
always more fun to see like more options to animate right in the preview than less.
Right, it definitely
that'll-
makes the asset a little bit more attractive, you might say.
Yep. Try before you buy, for sure.
Yeah, and just like the arcade cabinet, that's why I did include like the playing, the on off. There's a press start screen too, so that way that if someone did want to elaborate on that and have different things, or turn this into even a mini game, that's actually what I want to do eventually. There, so if you get one of these, don't be surprised in the future airdropped one with even more animations. I kind of want to make it to where you can almost kind of play on it because you have enough loop frames. And so if you set up your logic enough, you might actually be able to kind of play that on screen a little bit. So but we'll see though. That is one thing that's great about blockchain. It serves as a cool customer management kind of system as well. Allows us as creators to reward our holders too going into the future.
Right. We can say, oh, check it out, snapshot. You're still with us. Well, we're going to show you some love. So I've always appreciated that from, what we do here at the Sandbox. And of course, as we're coming down to the end of our time, I want to remind everybody that I hope you're feeling well. And if you happen to not be, well, it's okay. You can make it through it. Depression is something that can be beaten, and it might come back. It might say hi again a little bit later, but you're strong enough to make it through it, and it cannot define you, and it cannot take away your shiny days ahead. Is there anything else that we can really plug for you guys? What do we got going on? What's in the future for Maddox and Shakespeare?
Right now, I've got to make a bunch of squeakers equipable so I can get you guys into them ASAP. That's going to be the next featured thing for us, for me without her. And then we've got, well, that's the big one right now.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, same thing with me. I'm trying to get the shirts ready for the Outer Studios collaboration, and then of course we do have some other projects in the background, like how we have the
Model
Brian
Arcade.
Jane, the designer, then also the Huddle Arcade, which is the long-term project, which is going to be fun, and probably making cameos into some of our friendly studios' games here and there. So that'll be fun. But yeah, stay tuned to everything, and Max's stream, my stream. We like to hang out and chat like everyone else here does, and spill the beans when we get them.
I'm into it. I love how you're showcasing that you have these little templates that you're using as like extra characters for comparison. It's where it's at.
Yeah, the dummy is important, and it's really easy to do. Here you go, chat challenge. Go ahead and open up a medium human and build yourself a dummy model. Wayward suggested I do this. I did it, and my
change in your
size. Oh my god! Immediately, because like everything is now to scale. I'm always thinking about how big is it against the dummy.
Right,
and,
you have some relevance to look at.
The dummy comes into everything now. It's one of my most used and underrated assets, 100%. It took me maybe 5 minutes to block it out. It's just one piece, and you just build it within the shadow box of the medium human template, and it'll really change the caliber of what you build.
Well, what is this copper looking thing that you have here that you're showing off?
This was the mining turret for VoxEdit. This is what you were shooting the
yes, okay,
the spaceships with. Yeah, so that little animation, that's on a trigger, and so every time it triggers, it snaps down. And very simple in practice, in theory, but it's easy. But yeah, so just a little fun.
Yeah, shout out to Wayward Escapades for coming up with the dummy idea.
The dummy is the
or
best.
At least from this perspective, coming up with it. Of course, lots of good knowledge out there. So once again, I want to thank the two of you for popping on to the show with me. And oh my goodness, let me snap that away there. You guys have been fantastic.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Chat, I think we're gonna have to have these two on at another point in time. Maybe separately. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We would love to come back, of course. Always welcome to.
But if not, if you can't catch them on the live with me, you can always find this awesome duo. Where? Plug your socials, guys.
Well, you can usually find both of us on. I'm doing switching my nights. I'm so sorry. But you can find me on Twitch at nights, and you can find 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing Sundays and Thursdays now, I think. Yeah, Thursdays and Sundays we're doing 9 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. And Shakespeare, you're usually on
at 2 a.m. Pacific Standard, usually 2 to 3 hours depending on who's on in the morning. So yeah, we get into a lot of different things on my stream. We do VoxEdit, we do Game Maker, we'll play games, and we'll chat about pretty much anything.
Pretty much, yeah. We have no constraints there.
Right, as Not Jackie Chan says over there on YouTube, good to meet you guys. Looking forward to more stuff. And if you are a community member and you want to pop on this show with me, this is something I feel like needs to happen more often, as we need to highlight you, the creators, not just for your games, but for yourself. We want to make sure that you can shill everything that you have, not just the one game you want tested, as we still test those games on this live show, but we want to see who you are. Let's dox out. Let's figure it out. Let's have a good time. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. Thank you again to OG Shakespeare and Maddox Furia, and most importantly, thank you, SamFam. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, all of the above. Let's get it, guys. I'm gonna play us away. Oh, ready? Gonna we get some funk? Are you guys gonna jam with me this time? As we turn up the funk? You guys get a little delay, but it's okay. It's still funky. It's still funky fresh. Kind of get that.
Funky music's on all the time.
Well, you know what? We're gonna rope it back around. We're gonna rope it back around. Okay, here we go. There we go. It's coming up. Who are we rating over here on Twitch.tv? Oh, it's where.
Looks like
we're going for it.
Somebody I know. I see somebody I know.
We have to hop on Voxel Blazer after this, yeah.
We got it. Yes.
We unfortunately had done Voxel Blaze earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Make sure to go check out Voxel Blaze. Shout out to them. But we're gonna go say hi to Frederick and Ferdinand as they're starting to build. Looks like they're hanging out, doing a tree, make some lovely assets. Oh my goodness. Hopefully we enjoyed today's session as we got to know a little bit of these two, to hang out with them, learn a little bit about the creator fun. And it does kind of sound like Pilot Wing 64 now that you pointed out there. I just want to thank again everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jazz Wolf for doing that great ambassador work. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out. Shout out to Game Dizzy for doing all the wonderful things you do. And Philip, you can pop on by, watch the VOD, my dude. We missed you this time. It's so funky. We get it. We'll get this down. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time. But then I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna go, wait a second. It's funny whenever we talk after the screen goes blank, because we get this little extra waiting time where the Sandbox game is trying to leave for raiders. You guys want to come on again? Did you guys like this?
Absolutely. It was great.
Had a good time? It was fun.
Absolute.
We'll figure it out. We'll have more fun with everybody here. Bye, SamFam.
It was super fun.
Cheers!